Welcome to Coach's Corner, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I am your host, Coach Tripp, here on the Saturday show, August 25th, the start of football season, and got a special guest, friend of mine, Mike Gardner. Mike, thanks for joining the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Paul. Thanks again. And one thing I was very impressed with your golf game and meeting you at the first time at Derek Brooks's golf outing. And it's a pleasure to meet you. And thanks for having me on for your audience.
Yeah, it was a blast playing golf with you at Derek Brooks Golf Tournament, man. And Tampa's my old stomping grounds. I played a lot of golf down there with Mike Schuler and Testaverde in the off season down there in '87. What courses do you play down there?
Wow. Well, as you know, I'm the founder and CEO of ThinEnergy Hydration. So I don't have a lot of downtime. So most of what I do is, and you saw my game, didn't you? You already know my game is not that good. So I get out there and, support foundations like Derek Brooks's foundation and what he's doing in Pensacola, here in Tampa. John Starks, he's one of my partners as well. Steve Harvey's, Chris Tucker. I mean, we've done a lot because our whole thing is, for me, coming from a obese family, it's just something that I'm passionate about, really helping fight obesity, but more importantly, promoting health and wellness. So we started an initiative. For me, it's not about just a drink. It's more than that. It's a lifestyle. We started an initiative. It's our Eat Healthy, Drink Healthy, Be Healthy initiative. So Derek Brooks, John Starks, Dominique Dawes, Antonio Holmes just invested with me. And these are equity partners. These are not paid endorsements. So I think it really speaks volumes onto what we're doing and what we have with our beverage, but more importantly, what we're doing for the communities and giving back. And really, Paul, we talked about this. The future of tomorrow is up to the leaders of today.
Right.
And our future are our kids. And if we don't start making a positive impact with these kids and just giving them hope and inspiration, it's a different time than you and I, when we grew up. It's tough. So I just try to, plant seeds. You never know. I mean, for me, it was my coach, my basketball coach, that changed my life. And you as a coach, I mean, you do. I know you don't coach for the money. So you're out there because you care about these kids, and that's what's
right. It's all about the kids. Well, Mike, your interesting story. Talk about your background a little bit, where you grew up, your mom and dad, your siblings, and where you went to school, and how you got into this great business.
Wow, it's a journey, and now I grew up poor. I'm from New Orleans, and grew up poor, and one of the things that, for me, my grandmother used to tell me, no matter how bad you have it, there's always someone out there that has it worse. I remember, your audience, the younger audience might not remember the story, but Kmart. She loved Kmart, and we would the blue light special. Anyway, this is the first time she told me this. We're at Kmart, and she says, "See, look at that little boy. He's in a wheelchair. You're walking. You have, She just planted that little seed with me that,
wow,
just made me not feel poor me. Everyone has a story. We've all been through challenges. It's, getting up and learning from that, and just we all have a purpose, and everybody, it takes different journeys, and my journeys growing up that way led me into, I wasn't a very good student. Well, it wasn't that I wasn't good. I just, I didn't have structure in my house, and for me, sports was my structure. I had a coach, that guided me, and that's why I love to be part of, team sports, and it gave me structure. And I was an athlete. I played all the sports, but for me, it was basketball that I really had a passion for. I loved, and he gave me a book, and when you're growing up in your 10th grade, you're insecure. For me, I was. I never felt. I mean, I was a good athlete, but outside or off the court or off the football field, I didn't have that confidence. But man, you put me on the football field or basketball court, and it was just, that was my outlet. That was my, my guiding light, if you will. And my basketball coach gave me a book, and this is 10th grade, and the book was called Cybergenics. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but This book was about the power of the mind, visualization.
I've read it. I've read
And
it.
what you right? Okay, so
I've
so
read
you
it.
know, so that was a book he gave me 10th grade, and he says, Mike, his name was Coach Kent, and he says, this book is not about basketball or football or sports. He said it's about life. Visualization. If you believe it and you can see it,
Right.
you can achieve it.
Right.
Now, mind you, I'm like, okay, good, but he planted a seed with me. So for me, I always stuck with that, and I always, how can I be better? It was self help, and so my journey started with that. I went to play basketball in college in Texas, Glenn Junior College. I lasted, let's see, when the first paper was due. Like, this isn't for me. Actually, the schoolwork and like I said, for me, I just kept trying to, that self help develop and went on, and I'm like, I need to go make money, and I think I was like, it's like 19 years old, 18, 19, just turned 19, and I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I believe as long as I'm doing something positive, right? And
Yeah.
hey, we all have challenges. I'm not perfect. Hey, I've had my struggles. We've all had them. But at the end of the day, I just had that passion, to help people. And for
Yeah.
me, my outlet, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar,
Mm-hmm.
Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, Brian Tracy, on and on. I just kept feeding my mind, audiobooks and da da da. And I just really, made it a point that, I just wanted to be the best version of myself I could be. And you being an
Wow.
athlete, Paul, man, making it to an NFL or making it to a college level, I mean, it takes discipline. It takes
Right.
focus. You can have all the skill and the talent in the world,
Right.
but if you don't apply it, and, I'm preaching to the choir, but your audience, the one thing that inspiration for perspiration. For me, it was inspiration, that he planted. Tony Rock. I just look at the mind because as an athlete, we all heard no matter what we do in life, it's 90% mental, right?
Absolutely. And you talk to all the elite athletes, and you do business with them, and they all say it's 90% mental, 10% physical. Every single one of them down. And it's we want to get that message out. It's amazing to me that a coach grabbed you and taught you about the see it, believe it, achieve it.
Yeah.
Because I do specials on my special segments on my show called Coach Trips Tips, and conceive it, believe it, and achieve it. I just did one a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, the mind is a powerful thing. This ThinEnergy plant-based certified hydration beverage, it's got so many benefits: gluten-free, plant-based, only 5 calories, non-GMO, diabetic friendly, which is good for me.
Yeah.
Well, how did you get it started, and how was there a nutritionist doctor that you worked with
Yeah.
on the formula?
Well, like I said, it's been a journey. So, it's funny when God takes you through certain things, you never know where you're going to go. But I just, like I said, my grandmother planted a seed, my coach, there's always what I call pivotal moments in life, right?
Right, right.
And I went through them, you've gone through them, we've all had them. I left college, I go make money, but I kept feeding my mind, just working on me, being the best version of myself, because I didn't know what am I here for? We're all here for a purpose, and I believe it's to serve and help others, and that's where
Right.
my passion really, really, I just focused on that, man. It's not about me, And as I went down this journey, people say, and back to the beverage, like, I've never done a beverage. I've never been in this space. But connecting the dot, I became a personal trainer. Okay. Moved up to
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis. I was actually, what was it? I think 2021. Moved up to Indianapolis. I was actually going to tech school. And I'm like, I didn't like it, but at least I was doing something, right? I'm like, what the hell,
Yeah.
electronic engineering. So I was trying to, do something positive, but I always worked out. I kept, played sports, kept that going, and that was my outlet. But, really kept working on me, and I actually became a personal trainer. Indianapolis back in the day. Colts, Pacers, great town. I'm from down south, so for me that was a culture shock. But man, it was awesome because, it was a new environment. And I always call, in life, you know, I always tell people the mind's like a parachute. If it's open, it works. And
Hmm.
so many people out there are so closed-minded. Like for me, I've always just been, he planted that seed with me, and I wanted to be the best version, and I'm going to learn, I'm going to work on me. It's not your fault or this person's fault, or I grew up poor and poor me and this and that. I'm like, I embraced it. It made me who I was. I learned from it. It made me stronger. So as a personal trainer, I would train a lot of professional athletes back in the day,
Uh-huh.
NBA, NFL. Used to, run around with a lot of the guys, and to this day, some of them, I mean, still my friends. And Ray Buchanan played for the Colts. Ashley Ambrose, he lives in Atlanta now. So yeah, I saw him a little bit ago. I said, Ray, don't forget you played in Indianapolis. No, man, I'm a Falcon. I said, man, you turned on us. But anyway, the long and short of it, as an athlete, and my clients, like I said, I love training the professional athletes. That was, my world. But my passion was to help fight obesity. And see, my cousin, he's my age,
Hmm.
juvenile diabetic,
Hmm.
blind. My aunt had her leg amputated to the decks of, I'm sorry, to the effects of diabetes. So when you look at weight-related disease and how
Hmm.
that's killing our country. I mean, when you look at COVID, what COVID, the number one complication for COVID was because of obesity.
Right.
So when you look at all these things, obesity, we talk about healthcare reform, man. If we, it's preventative, and we got to work on ourselves, and that's part of my movement: eat healthy, drink healthy, be healthy. But what I did, I had a passion to fight obesity. My clients would come, and man, I wanted to help them so bad because I've seen it. That you can't do it for people. But I said, what's missing? And I always feel like the universe will bring, if you put the question out and you're open minded, the universe will
Hmm.
bring you the answer. You just got to keep speaking it, believe it, and it'll come. So, man, something's missing. Because I thought in the beginning, Paul, I thought all the trainers were focused on exercise. I said, man, nobody's really focused on nutrition. Now,
Right.
this is 25 years plus ago, right?
Right. Right.
And I worked with a doctor out of Washington, D.C. Now, this is 25 plus years ago, so calibrate it. I worked with, she had the Low Glycemic Research Institute out of Washington, D.C. Now you hear about low glycemic foods, low glycemic, the glycemic response in the body, everything you eat and drink. So that was very intriguing because I'm like, wow, that makes sense because I didn't believe in deprivation, calorie restriction. I believe in lifestyle. So that was my whole theme, lifestyle. It's got to be
Hmm.
a way of life because, gimmicks don't work. It's, all these devices, all these things out there, Paul, it just, it's temporary. So it's all about lifestyle, and it all starts up here. It's about daily choices. Am I going to eat the Big Mac, or am I going to eat something healthier for me?
Right.
Right. So
Right.
it's about choices and lifestyle. And so I thought it was diet. I thought, man, I got it. Guess what? It wasn't. And I started, okay, well, what's missing? So I had diet, exercise. I'd lay everything out for people. I'd say, well, what foods do you like? I'd educate them, right? Okay, here's everything you eat or drink has a glycemic response in the body. And I would go through this whole thing with them, and okay, well, what do you like? Because it's choices. You pick what you like. Here's the framework. Work within the framework. It's lifestyle deprivation. Most people I found didn't eat enough, which blew people away. When I say, they didn't eat frequently enough. They would eat one meal, 5,000 calories. Well,
Right.
you're better off to eat small meals throughout the day. Anyway, fast forward, I'm like, man, something's still missing. And it was frustrating. And one day it just hit me. Nobody was addressing behavior modification for weight loss. Now, this is 20 something years ago. And what I did, I thought, it's simple. As athletes, we heard it's all about the mind, 90% mental. The diet and exercise was only 10% then, right? So I actually wrote a book and created an audio program called Talk Yourself Thin. And it was a mental fitness program that I called it Try Fitness It Works, TRI Fitness It Works. It's all three aspects. You need mental, physical, and nutritional. But the mental was the base.
Right.
The diet, exercise, that's the Try Fitness. It's
Oh, I
all three of
see.
them, or spiritual. Mental, spiritual, all of those things tying together. So
Right.
I actually developed a whole audio program, and it was just like you work out the physical body, you need to work out the mental muscles, and you
Right.
need to get rid of the mental fat. That's what's keeping us from our goals. That's what's keeping us from making the better lifestyle choices, because our mind's been programmed, at a very young. I went through it. You can't do this, you that. But back to my coach, he says, Mike, this is about life. If you want to be a millionaire, don't do what your parents are doing. Go out there and find somebody getting the result you want and model what they did. Well, fast forward, I never knew Tony Robbins, and I find out about Tony Robbins, and he must have listened to Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar,
Right.
there's so many resources out there. Just the work on the mind, you have to do it daily. It's not just a one and done. Like, I still do it to this day. I mean, I still listen to audio programs, and everybody's got a story. But when I did this, and I wrote the book, I started just sharing it on. I was actually the Fox fitness trainer in Indianapolis. I had my weekly segment, and I'm nobody. Is what I'm like. I'm just sharing information, and it just kind of took off. And then what happened is, I I wrote the book. I was doing a lot of radio and TV, and I had morning drive time and fitness trainer, and I never thought twice about it. It's just, man, I just want to help people. That's all I focus on. And one key thing, Paul, this: help others get what they want, and you'll get what you want, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Almost the golden rule. Did you know Chris Good in Indianapolis by any chance?
I know of him. I know of him, but I would like. It's funny. Jeff Harrod, Marshall Falk, Ray Buchanan. Like, I'm going way back. That was and then Antonio Davis. He was a friend of mine. Derek McKee. So I'm going way back, and it's kind of funny because I look back, and back to life is a journey. And no matter what we do, like I said, there's pivotal moments. And I remember moving to Indianapolis. I'm like, man, I got to go. And I just felt it. And I don't know what's going to happen.
Were you CSCS certified?
Yeah. I mean, I went through.
That was a hard tape. That was a hard test in itself.
Let me back up. The one we did. Well, let me back up. The certification, like I remember, it was Bally's was one of the gyms, and we had our own certification. But all the certifications were. I mean, again, it's the physical aspect was easy for me because I got creative because you gotta stimulate the muscle, blah blah blah. Peripheral training. There's so many different great things about whatever. But for me, it just went back to the diet. And I thought that was it. But really, the key in life is mental, right? Even working out, going to the gym, making better food choices, all those things, it starts daily up here. So when I came out with the book, I was doing all this radio, TV, sharing the techniques. But what happened, and now I'm in Florida, what happened is Home Shopping Network picked me up, and they did my infomercial. And I wrote the book. I had it going to the audio program. So now it's, mental, physical, nutritional. And so I sold that to Home Shopping Network. I moved to Florida, and it's like, oh, what am I going to do now? And I was like, I'm going to create a reality show based off of my book, because there was a show that I won't even name it, but bottom line is it would bother me because it wasn't real. It would take people out of their environment and put them on a fat farm, right? That educate them, right? But they weren't really teaching lifestyle, right? They're okay. It's a temporary fix. You take them out of the environment, but they didn't address the mindset, the mental, right? And here's the thing: if I say, Paul, man, I want to get bigger arms, or I want to, tone up my chest, I don't go to the gym one time, right? You got to put it into your lifestyle. You got to keep, resistance training. You've got to eat better. All those things. Going to a fat farm, you learn all of it. But what would happen is when you watch, I think that 76% of the people that would lose weight would gain it back within 2 to 3 years.
Right, because it got to be a lifestyle. You can't just, it can't just be a diet. Well, it's a great ThinEnergy. ThinEnergy, Mike, is a great alternative to high caffeine, so-called energy drinks. And talk a little bit about some of the ingredients in ThinEnergy and why everybody that has an active lifestyle or wants to start should
Yeah.
be drinking it.
Yeah, well, and back to kind of the journey, we'll pick up there, and that's, man, you do this for you're like a professional, man. You just lead me down the, I love this unscripted, but the journey, that's the next part of the journey. I sold that. I did my reality show. When I'm shooting the reality show, in fact, Ashley Ambrose had just invested in an energy drink, right?
Yeah.
And I never, and I was actually shooting a show, and I was having product placement within my show, selling advertising, right? I thought, my buddy says, hey, Ashley, Charles Arbuckle, he actually, two-time All-American from UCLA. He says, man, Mike, I think Ashley just invested in this energy drink. You should call him. I'm like, oh, what kind of energy drink? I don't know, call him up. So I call Ashley, I tell him about what I'm doing, a reality show, it's this, that, blah, blah, blah. He says, wow. He says, yeah, come out to Vegas and meet me. And when I go to Vegas, I meet him, his partner, actually. He's like, let me set you up with my partner. I go there, Paul. Now, mind you, I've never been, I believe in supplementation, but I wasn't an energy drink guy and doing all that. I just believe in, lifestyle supplementation. And I go out there, man, there were all these energy drinks, all these, I'm not going to name them, but there's tons of them. And then, energy shots, energy drinks. I'm shooting a show based off of my book was weight loss. I'm like, wow, it just came to me. Nobody's doing a weight loss shot or drink, right? So I looked at a product out there, it was a shot bottle, and everybody knows it. He created that category. And I said, man, you know what? Nobody's really done this for weight loss. Energy is a $9 billion a year market. Weight loss is 55 billion. 68% of the population is overweight. Here's another platform that I can help and give people another tool. Okay, lifestyle, mental, all this, because it is, more than just, our drink, and I'll connect it out real quick. But I saw right off the bat, I started talking to people because I didn't know the space. So one thing I'll tell your viewers: talk to people, ask questions. You'll get the answer. Put it in the universe. I knew nothing about the space. I started doing my research, but you know what? The most important thing you could ever do is talk to people, right? The consumer. Who are you? So what I found real quick is a lot of consumers were drinking these drinks, and they know it's not healthy. There's a negative connotation with the caffeine, taurine, sugar, erythritol, all these things, right? And but especially women. And I'm like, wow, people are looking for the healthy alternative. Nobody's doing this. No one's come out with something that has functional benefits for lifestyle that could actually, sugar, keto, free, da da da. So I'm actually shooting this show, and I developed this product, and today it's this ThinEnergy hydration, because the other problem that I have with my customers or my clients, 70% of them are dehydrated. 70% of the population is dehydrated and don't know it. Now, when you look at these kids today and these different, I live in Florida, man. I had this happen.
Yeah, it's getting hotter and hotter with climate change, and it's even more important.
But think about this. I had a kid, and I coached my son's football, and 11 years old, and the kid almost died on the football field. He, dehydrated. Luckily we had a doctor. Boom. Thank God he's okay. But I'm like, it was unbelievable. It was scary. Come to find out, he drank 2 energy drinks before the game.
Oh, gosh.
Now it's September. It's still 90 degrees in September in Florida, right? 85.
Right.
But what does caffeine do, Paul? Dehydrate. That's counterintuitive. Why would, when we're trying to hydrate, and water does not hydrate you alone. Like, I'm talking about getting in the cellular level. You need the electrolytes. But what I came up, because I'm about lifestyle, so I'm like, man, nobody's really done lifestyle hydration. So I actually went plant-based, because as you get older, your body changes. I'm always like, eat, got to change my diet, shock it. And I went plant-based. And my buddy from high school, him and I kind of keep each other in check. And, hey, what's your weight? You work out, get the check mark. And I said, Charlie, man, I said, I went plant-based and I feel great. And he says, really? Oh, he said, yeah. He says, have you seen that movie on Netflix called Game Changers? I said, no. Now, mind you, I just had an acquisition for my company right out the gate. I was online. I wasn't running the retail. I had a shop. And I'm like, huh. I said, well, I'm trying to come up with I watched the show Game Changers because I was looking for something to go in the retail because I knew I can go in with my shop. I had something different. It's a competitive space, but you have to have a niche. Every business is competitive. You find your niche, you find your
Right.
purpose. And for me, when I went plant-based, I watched Game Changers. Boom, it hit me. Wow, nobody's doing a plant-based hydration drink. And Game Changers is about the science behind being plant-based. When I went, I felt better, my energy, I was getting more out of my workouts. And I'm from New Orleans, so I don't give up the seafood, but I don't do red meat. I don't do chicken. I'll do seafood, but it's in moderation too. I'm not doing it every day. So for me, there's so much availability for plant-based. Health and wellness. It's trending. Plant-based beverages in 2020 did 2.3 billion. By 2028, it's projected to be 66.5 billion. But what I saw is plant-based with elderberry, zinc, vitamin D, no sugar, no caffeine, no erythritol, no taurine. So truly the healthy alternative, plant-based certified. So we're the first plant-based certified hydration drink with benefits. We call it a beverage with benefits because it's more than just hydration. So yeah, your beverage with benefits. There you go.
Here it is right there.
Yeah, I'm glad you had
Energy
that.
hydration comes in little 3-packs. They can get them. How can people get Thin Energy hydration in all your products?
Yeah. So we're in Publix. We're based out of Tampa, Florida. We're in Publix. We just launched Kroger and Vitacost.com. We're in Price Chopper, so we're at retail. We just picked up Lowe's Home Improvement with our Power Stick. On top of that, if we're not in your area, just go to ThinEnergy.com.
Yep.
And you can purchase the Power Stick and the drinks online.
ThinEnergy.com.
Yes,
The pros, they must, I'm sure, with Starks and Notice Nixon, all those guys you got on board, you're starting to get into the pro leagues and some of the players taking them.
Well, yeah, what's interesting when I watched that show Game Changers, the science behind it. A lot of the Tennessee Titans. It was Derek Morgan's wife. She's a chef, and she actually started cooking for him, plant-based, and it spread for the whole team because the recovery, inflammation. A lot of athletes, Chris Paul, Tom Brady. Not only are you talking about performance, but you're talking about career extension. Like, think about that. Tom Brady, how did he do it? Well, look how Tom's lifestyle is. Look how all these athletes. Chris Paul, a lot of people have gone plant-based, and you're going to notice inflammation, recovery, longevity, all those things. It is what you eat healthy, drink healthy, be healthy. It is a lifestyle. And for me, I'll tell you one thing. I've never approached one person, Dominique Dawes, John Starks, they're organic meetings. And I just, and Santonio Holmes, organic, but great people. But the thing with the athletes, and I've been blessed because I'm my vision and my thing is to serve and help others. And Derek Brooks, when I talked to him, it wasn't about Derek being a football player or a Hall of Famer. It was what he does in the community. I'm like, man, that's who I want because I want to create a movement. It's not about a beverage or a drink. Right. It's about a movement. And we're we talked, and man, it was like I'm in. I'm going to try it. Boom, taste it. I like it. And that's John Starks, organic. Everybody organic. John Starks. I'm at a boat show in Connecticut. I just launched 2 years ago. And I'm like, why am I going to Connecticut? Like, this wasn't on my radar. I was raising capital, and somebody said, man, you should go to this boat show in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And I thought, well, okay. And I'm like, I don't know. Something kept telling me you need to go. And that's another tip for your, when coach's tips here. Listen to your gut. My gut was telling me I needed to go. It wasn't, Connecticut. I'm like, I've never been to Connecticut in my life. I'm not even launching it up there. Okay, investor, whatever. There's investors here. But so I go up there, and I'm walking through the show. I'm like, oh, that's John Starks. What's he doing here? So he had a cigar. And I walk up to John. Now, mind you, I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never talked to him, right? But when I lived in Indianapolis, I trained some of the Pacers, right? So back there, that basketball, just like football, it was a different game back then, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
John, I walked up to John. I said, man, I said, I got a bone to pick with you. He looked at me like, who the heck is this guy? I said, man, I've never seen somebody talk so much shit on the basketball court, Reggie Miller. And I said, I'm from India. I used to train a lot of the guys, and man, those games back then, I said, man, you talk so much shit, but I tell you one thing, you backed it up. And he laughed, and we would high five, whatever. I mean, I threw him off, and I just started, talking to him, and I said, I had a drink in my hand, and he said, "What are you doing? What are you doing up here? You live here now?" I said, "No, actually, I'm up here. We have our drinking, organic." Shared the product with them. Just gave it. Here's my card. Didn't expect anything. Didn't just hey, it was cool. I met John Starks, the one guy, the nemesis back in the day for the Pacers. And I get a phone call about a week later, and he says, "Hey, Mike, this is John Starks." He says, "Man, I love the drink. I want to get involved."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Dominique Dawes, same way. Great people, and so Santonio Holmes, met him last year at the Super Bowl. Added his golf outing, and I was actually helping, for his foundation, and boom, boom, and so it's a journey, and I always say
What a beautiful thing, Mike, man. That's, to read and to learn, and, that's a passion. Certain people, if you don't read, you have no advantage over those who can't. And, I always suggest sports books worth reading.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me calibrate something. All right. Because, I'm very transparent. I don't read. For me, that's why I struggled during school. I didn't realize I was ADHD. I had that. What? I don't know. I don't call it whatever you want.
Right.
But for me, I didn't learn by reading. I learned by listening.
Audio tapes. Okay.
Audio. So I did.
Okay.
So it's ironic that I wrote a book, but my audio program it's an audio program with the book. So, for me, it's ironic because, but that's how I learn. Everybody learns differently. So
right.
Power is knowledge, but technology is knowledge. So when you have technology where I can listen to Audible and I can learn from that, I think that's one thing that we all learn differently. But at the end of the day, to your point, at the end of the day, what is it? It's knowledge is power. And then knowledge with power, with no action, is only a dream.
Exactly. Goal without a wish, plan with,
reality.
A goal without a plan is called a wish. Yeah. And a lot of people wish, a lot of people don't plan.
Work the plan, plan the work, right?
Hey, I want to read something, and I want your response. This is I'll do a Coach Trips tips right here for us, cool. just to finish it up, because I want your thoughts on nutrition and rest for tips, for peak performance during the season. The day before a game is the most important for nutrition. A lot of people think that the pregame meal is vital, but it's actually the food that breaks down in your system, into your cells, a day earlier in kickoff. Rest. Going to bed late reduces your cognitive, brain, and motor skills. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, young athletes who sleep 8 or more hours each night are 68% less likely to get injured than athletes that regularly sleep less. Tom Brady, when I was coaching, Mike, I used to tell my kids, who wants to do something that doesn't cost anything that will improve your performance? They all raise their hand. All right, who wants to sacrifice like Tom Brady? They all raise their hand. I said, Tom Brady gets 9 to 10 hours of sleep. You have to go to bed at 9 o'clock tonight, guys. And they were like looking around. All right, so rest is important. Eat frequently and at the right time. Don't go more than 4 or 5 hours without eating. And like you said, don't pile up a big meal. Most important is breakfast. Number 4, be strong all season long with your products as well. But, to eat a healthy breakfast, a couple eggs, some fruit, a bacon, grab some nuts and then lunch, lean ground beef, rice, fresh vegetables, pre-practice snack. Grab yourself a ThinEnergy, a PBJ, or an apple, a piece of fruit. And after workouts, chocolate milk does wonders for you after workouts. And then dinner, fish, chicken, sweet potatoes, and green vegetables. That's a lifestyle. That's a lifestyle to eat and follow for a day.
And again, it's funny because as you're saying that, one of the things, everything you're talking about is plan the plan, work the plan, right? You have to, think about it. And most people don't think about it. And like for you, that might work. We all have our different, like I would not do the potatoes. I would do, everything you eat or drink is education. Certain foods in your body, like mashed potatoes versus sweet potatoes. I'm taking the sweet potato. So, just little tips like that, but it's the carbohydrate. It's that's what you're really looking at. But when you look at, think about this. When you look at all that said, it always goes back to hydration, because your mental cognitive function, your absorption of vitamins and minerals from the foods that we eat or supplements we take, if we're not staying hydrated, we're not actually getting the assimilation of the vitamins into our system, into the cellular level. So all those things play into it. So everything you just said is lifestyle. Pick the lifestyle you want. Plant the seed up here. And I always say this, Paul, and I love talking to you, and man, I just enjoyed my time with you. And like I said, man, this guy can golf. Like I want you on my team. I was super impressed. Like this guy.
I was better at football, and I was better at football than I was at golf. Mike.
Well, you're still an athlete, but we had a great time. But here's what I tell people: at the end of the day, we all have a purpose, and what's your B? We all have a B. So ask yourself, what is your B? Be healthy, be happy, be hydrated. What's your B? What's your B, Paul?
I'm sorry, was my what?
What is your B?
My B?
Yeah. So my B is be united. So we all have emotional void.
Be other centered. Be loving and other centered.
There you go.
Right.
Everybody has a B. Share your B. Be humble. Be happy. Whatever it is, we all have a B.
Right.
Share your B. Think about it. Because your B is your purpose.
Hey, Mike. The measure of a successful man or woman is the amount of positive influence and impact that they have on other people. You can, if you're self-centered, you're gonna be a lonely, unhappy person. That's right, Mike. What a blast, man! I love you coming on the show.
Hey, me as well, and I just appreciate it. And again, if anybody's interested, ThinEnergy.com. Follow us on Instagram at ThinEnergy.com, IG at ThinEnergy.com, Facebook, all that good stuff. We're just blessed, and I'm super excited for us to continue our relationship and build on that, and anything I can do to help you or your community. We're doing a big launch November 11th. I can't tell you what it is, but November 11th of this year, there's a big announcement we're going to be launching. So follow us on Instagram, and you're going to hear about it. But it's going to be a game changer for this country.
Awesome. Mike, thanks so much, man. When I get to my old stomping grounds in Tampa, I'll come by and see you. But keep in touch, buddy.
ThinEnergy hydration. Be healthy, be happy, be hydrated. What's your B?
Hey, so peace, brother. See ya.
Bye.
All right, man. That was awesome. Stay tuned for these great messages from all of our sponsors, as without them, this wouldn't happen. Hope you enjoyed Mike Gardner and ThinEnergy hydration. Amazing guy, amazing story, and a great product. Hope everybody tries. Talk to you soon.
Hey, Bama fans, this is Will Moore, president of the Pensacola Bama Club. You can find us at PensacolaBamaClub.com. We are your official alumni chapter in the Pensacola and surrounding areas. Membership is available to all alumni and all Bama fans, so come see us at one of our many events throughout the year. Our Bama football watch parties are the next best thing to being in Bryant-Denny Stadium. We even serve authentic stadium hot dogs. Membership, event, and contact information will be found on our website at PensacolaBamaClub.com. Roll Tide.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We sell fun for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
Hey, Bill, some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray, and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
Step One works so hard to get you in the perfect car.
Looking for a better car buying experience? With the Step One Advantage from Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola, receive no-hassle market-based pricing or incentives by pre-ordering. Looking to sell or trade? Our dedicated team will even come to you. Plus, every vehicle sold at Step One supports local charities right in your neighborhood. Experience the Step One Advantage at Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola today.
75 years of service and high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than a simple painted brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.